There we go. Okay, I think it's recording now. So, Adam, sorry, if you introduce.
Can you see my screen?
I had to select it, but I can see it.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, we can see your screen, so whenever you're ready to go.
Great. Okay. So most of my stuff, if you look, was back-end stuff. There were some bug fixes, and then there are a lot of Salesforce things, which I'm not really sure how to demo, and are also already live and have been demoed to the appropriate people. Yeah, so I'm not going to go through the Salesforce stuff, but I'll go through the stuff that's user-facing. So one of the things was to put the description of the placement into the daily delivery grid here, which you can see here. This one has a description. This one, these have descriptions also down here. So that's that.
So that was the description of the, was that on the placement or the creative view?
On the placement. It's 1783.
Cool.
Ticket number. One of the other things was to change the to get rid of 33% and to change 20 to 25% on the stages, which is simple enough. And then the other thing that was front-facing was to does this have statistics in it anywhere? I should have checked this beforehand, but I totally forgot to add what's it called? The total remaining columns to the Excel export.
Oh, right.
SOP, which they were all the calculations and everything was already done because it was on the front end. It just wasn't in the Excel, and this is generating. So I don't know how long that's going to take. But all it does is it adds some new columns to the Excel that when you click export view, not the download as loader. That's a TSV, which is a whole different thing. But the export view button will spit out. It just has a couple extra columns in it, and if this ever generates, I don't know what's going on, but I can send you the export because it'll be just easier for you to look at.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So I wonder, there won't be that much December data in there, but
it may just
it goes up to the 8th or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe there's somewhere you're going on because of that, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Okay,
sure,
cool.
You know.
And that was pretty much it for front end for me this month. This month, I mean, at this point.
Okay, cool. Let me see. I'm just going to look over them real quick. So that add placement description, we got that. Campaign stage cleanup, got that. Manage media plans, that's just a bug. Allow regional AMs, change media plan status, that doesn't need to be demoed.
Yeah.
Salesforce stuff, placement rate saving bug, PHNX stage status.
That's actually Salesforce.
Oh, okay.
Also, it just doesn't say Salesforce in the title.
Okay, cool. Unable to say placement rates. Great. SFP. Okay, yep, that's all of them.
Yep.
Awesome. Chris,
Cool.
we're going to skip you for now to go to other New York folks. Ed, did you, any of your stuff, is it going to be relevant to my audience and user-facing?
Let me go check real quick.
Okay, cool. Why don't we go ahead, Eric? Do you have anything that's going to be user-facing and stuff?
Let's see. So about 90% of what I did the last sprint was Salesforce related. Do we? Should I show that?
No, because the Salesforce stuff has been demoed separately.
Okay.
What's the NPR thing about zeros out budgets? Is that a bug fix?
Sorry. Can you say that again?
NPR zeros out budgets.
That's also sort of Salesforce. It's basically. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can now.
Okay. That's this value. It shows up on Salesforce exclusive campaigns.
Oh, right.
And basically, on update, it pulls the amount value from Salesforce and shows it here. And there was a bug that when you were saving, when you returned to the page, it showed 0. And it was just some leftover code from when I thought we were going to make that an editable field.
Okay.
So I fixed that, and yeah, now it persists when you return to the page.
Cool. Sounds good.
And let's see, the other non-Salesforce thing that I did, I guess, would probably be the dateless adjustments, which was an issue on the utilities page.
With the 0 date, did you ever figure out? I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds like you fixed it. Did you figure out why it was happening, or is it?
Yes.
I mean, was there a particular set of circumstances? Okay.
There were 2 reasons it was happening. I think they both had to do with total values. So, say, I think the one that was happening on was Houston Post Corporation. And any days, let's do the 23rd because I already did the 22nd. And yeah, it was an issue with the total values. 2 problems. First of all, the jQuery here that pulled from this value wasn't updated for now that we have a campaign column. So it was pulling from, I believe it was like this, and then it was pulling the next value. And it wasn't working in situations where sometimes the ID shows up. So it was just pulling from a text field that doesn't exist in the column.
Okay.
It was just getting zeros. And then, what was the second problem? It was a back-end issue, too. Oh, actually, the back-end issue is basically how this works, is it takes the value from here and then breaks it up, and then it creates a bunch of hidden inputs that split the amount that this is over the number of days. So if this was, say, 7, and we had the 23rd and the 24th, it would split it into 3 and 4, and it would create 2 more inputs, one for the 23rd that was 4, and one for the 24th that was 3. And all of that data would be passed to the backend, and then the backend would receive it and iterate through each value that was passed, and then store this in the database. And it was including the total value. It was because all of the inputs were saved by placement ID underscore date, and sometimes the date was total. And when I inserted total into the database, it was actually inserting, or the database would mess it up and just insert 000-00-00.
Interesting. Do you know, was this in a hotfix, or is it just in the going to be in the regular release?
It should be in the regular release.
Okay, cool. All right. So that's all your stuff that will be user-facing, right?
Yeah, everything but the Salesforce stuff.
Okay. Cool. Ed, did you? What would you decide?
Yeah, one small update.
Okay.
So, are you seeing my screen?
Not yet. There we go. Now I see it.
Oh, cool. So this feature Adam and Shlomo worked on to translate ad server error responses to user readable messages.
Yeah.
Well, so my story was to clear them when the ad server job was resolved. So it's just a cron thingy runs, and if it finds no failed jobs, it will clear it. So this will take a minute to reload, but yeah, it's the error message won't be there.
Cool. So does it?
After.
And that's already in the cron tab.
Sorry?
Has that been put into the cron tab for the so that when it's deployed, it'll be in there?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
And that's it.
All right, cool. I'm gonna let that reload. But let's see. I think so. John, I guess as is customary, I won't be demoing the video player stuff unless Taylor thinks we should. But let's see, Shlomo, did you have anything that would be user-facing that we would want to demo?
1 second, yes.
Excellent.
Can you see my screen?
Waiting for it. I'm sure it'll show up in a second. I see the icon, but not the actual screen. There we go. I can see it now.
Yeah. So basically, when you go to the target, you see if you go to either audience segments or to advanced key values, you have a message here explaining that this is not really being used anymore, and everything moved to this new tab. So and basically, like, this lets you do the same thing, but with a graphical interface. So basically, you can do FM class, and then we can do, and the value is above the fold.
Cool.
And this also allows you to import them directly from DFP. So theoretically, if the team actually went to the DFP line item and they played around with these audience segments and the key values, they'll be able to click over here and get those done into platform. The only issue is that you won't be able to demo this particular button because the placements that you'll be using don't actually exist on DFP.
Right, in the QA environment.
So it doesn't return an error. I should have returned an error, but it doesn't. So you just wouldn't see anything.
Does it? Is this for both FM and LIN, or is this a FM only thing?
This is for LIN. Like, LIN doesn't really use this stuff. They only use the FM post, the LIN, the LIP ID. So that's gonna get imported directly, so they don't really have to touch this. Like, whatever they do, it's gonna be doing it the same way.
Okay.
So this is mainly for the FM people.
Cool.
And for the FM people, like, you'll be able to, let's say, show them audience segments. So basically, so they'll be able to, if they add a key that's called audience segments, they'll be able to then search for their particular segment, and add it to their stuff, and then you just click save, and we get saved.
Very cool. How do they do this currently? Do they have to do it directly in DFP?
They've been doing the audience segments directly in DFP because there was always issues with it, and the main issue that this comes to solve is that they needed the ability to use and ors, and that's something that the system was lacking. They were not able to have a situation where they want these three audience segments or a different two or a different three. They had no way to specify an or condition for audience segments.
Cool. All right.
So that's it.
So that should be, I know that was the bulk of what you've been doing. Okay, so that's all the video people, right? Yeah. So going back to, in the alphabet, to Chris. Chris, do you have,
I have quite a few things. Let me find this and get sharing turned on here. Screen sharing, share. So let's see here. And y'all can see me, more or less? So the search mapping import, basically we're going to be importing the ASIDs or the ad server IDs for a whole bunch of placements dealing with search and social. That really doesn't change anything other than I added a script for it. The devices chart is an insights problem, and we have all the fix in place for that, but that's basically just going to come down to, already what it's going to come down to is basically dumping the table and reloading it. There's nothing really visually different about it other than the data is going to be correct. So the next one down is editing sites units causes a DB error. If you went into sites, picked a site, and you went into it and you modified this list here, it would create an error log entry. It does not do that anymore. The problem was that it was attempting to write a record that was already in the table and didn't have the insert and update stuff. So basically, I just told it to check before writing a record that was already present. So really, I don't know whether anybody actually uses this or not, but it was out there, and there were some error log entries for it. But this should just really stop error log entries showing up. Let's see here. This one, budget options in the under 5K tool, that has to do with the naming of a couple of things in the. Where did that page go? Because that had the naming of a couple of things in the wizard tool for creating media plan requests. So in here, we go back over to resize plan, and this is now monthly budget and fluid budget instead of what it was previously. I don't remember what the previous numbers were. I think like date range billing, previous names, date range billing and something else. The other item that was involved in this was changing this text here. So those should now match what were in the ticket for that. There was another part of this that involved changing out some stuff in those PDF files that were generated. When we realized that there are two ways that those PDF files are generated, and I shunted that off to a new ticket that wasn't dealt with in this particular sprint because I don't think we ever got the info necessary to deal with it. Oops, and I just lost my place. That was ticket NP1296. I think I was waiting for you to get some info back on that, Chase.
Okay, I'll look at it.
The next thing down was a media planning wizard problem, and the problem was setting setting anything up on this SEO stuff. So like if we created an SEO only plan, it was not properly generating a flight for it. And we got the flight info when we set that up. I can actually walk through that real quick. Media plan request. Oh, come on. Testing SEO. What it was doing previously was just sending you an empty flight. If you set that up, monthly budget, we'll start it. Yada, yada, yada. We'll do this. This is also going to be necessary for some of the other stuff I'm doing. So we'll go ahead and set one of these up. We set this all up on SEO. And what it does now, is we do plan. So we have a single tactic. And that will come over here. And we get a generated plan, and it now has a flight with SEO and so forth across it. Previously, what it was doing was just giving you an empty flight. It didn't have any of this stuff here at all. So that's now generating cleanly for them.
Is the package auto-generated by the site?
I believe this is actually, I believe this is just a placeholder. We need a package to generate through to a placement so that they can do their billing and stuff for it, but it's genuinely just a placeholder piece. So that there may be some that may need a little looking at there, but this was generated based on the information that that I was given when we were talking with Richard, and I can't remember who it was that we were talking with for it. The package I think might have actually already been in the system. So I didn't set that, just set this stuff up and then I'll set the package up on it. So if that causes some, we may want to watch for that and see if that causes problems, but I think it should be okay there.
So did it set that rate type to flat rate on its own?
That is configured manually, or not configured manually. It is set up as a default for this type of thing. So when you set something on SEO, that was the value, that was the rate type that was set on it when you import the plan. So it's set when the media plan is generated internally.
Okay.
Cool. The next one I had, this is just a little, there were some missing This one's already been dealt with and made live, but there were some permissions issues with this that got revealed with some of the Salesforce stuff that was merged in, because the Salesforce stuff eliminated one of the paths that was necessary, or that was in use to create or modify these records, that didn't actually check permissions, and replaced it with the one that did check permissions, which is actually probably a good thing, but it revealed the situation that some people didn't have permissions that they were supposed to have, or needed to have. And this is the fun one here. Restrict media board campaign status changes without a media plan in place. So we have a campaign right now that has a media plan that exists, but it's not approved or denied. So the problem here is then in this situation, the active media plan method that is used by all the task stuff will not return a media plan. So all the task stuff won't work right. Because of that, we have added this. We get this nice little warning that says not all statuses are available until an active media plan exists. And it explicitly grays out the statuses that you can't set without requiring or without having a media plan in place. So you can view them, but you can't set them. Which should ultimately prevent some of the task problems we've been running into, as well as the error messages saying, hey, ready for setup without active media plan, and some of that stuff that's been showing up in the error logs periodically. Because we've been seeing several of those, and probably what's going on is someone's coming in here, generating the plan, but never getting through to approve or deny it, or something along those lines, and then coming into this page and trying to set one of the statuses before the media plan's actually picked up so we have an active one. In theory, this should stop that from occurring, but it may have the potential to produce some support requests wondering why they can't set statuses.
Hopefully the message will explain it well enough.
Yeah, but it really comes down to there needs to be an approved media plan before you can actually set those statuses, so that the active media plan returns something that we can actually do something with. Let's see here. What's next on mine? The next one's a big back-end thing, which is fixing us for PHP 7 polyfills. So that situation where we have logs error blow up shouldn't happen anymore. That's what the whole renaming everything to core error and so forth was for all of y'all who have been involved in that or seen that. And what was this one? Oh, this is another back-end thing. We had a missing SQL chunk not defined. There was somebody missed defining an SQL chunk. That was that ticket. The next one is change behavioral targeting to audience targeting. This is also another just rename in the media plan. Or was it? No, it was media plan summary. No. We went in here and it was just renaming a couple of fields. I believe this became audience targeting here. And then I believe we also went into the media plan itself and changed the names of these guys here from behavioral targeting to audience targeting. So it's just an update on some stuff in that respect. The next one was the Kent ETLs. You know what that one was because we had fun with it. And there was a hotfix for the SOP stuff, and insights incorrectly filtering AdWords campaigns. What did this turn out to be? This was the one where we were having odd behaviors on a single date, and I believe this was an API issue in it. So that now, but we fixed it now so that that's working right. And that was fixed a long while back. This was, so we also, okay, so the next one was this 1560 duplicate task triggered, and what we wound up determining was that there was an associate insights reporting task and review platform insights reporting setup task. that were firing at the same time and were effectively the same thing. So they only wanted one of them versus two of them firing. That's
Which one?
which one did we remove?
No, I meant which Jira ticket we were.
That's 1560.
Okay, cool.
1772 is another. That's a side thing, another back-end stuff. Nothing major there. 1778 was the SSL cert stuff. 1776 was helping clean up the inadvertent deploy of PHP 7 polyfill code, which led to 1777. Then we had. Oh, this one was insidious, but it's actually 1771 was an insidious thing. It's already been pushed out. When we were dealing with the status modification stuff that gets put up here. So you have on certain users the ability to modify. Where was it? This guy, this little drop-down box right over here. When it was hidden for the users who could not make modifications to the status of a media plan, it was actually posting back a blank and saving a blank to the database, which was going in and clearing the media plan status for any media plan that was modified in that particular point in time. We have fixed that so that that no longer is the case. It doesn't actually modify on the back end. And I want to, oh, that was modifying some Ansible playbooks from 1757.
Yeah, not much to demo there. Well, nothing to demo for the info stuff.
Yeah. That one looks like it was a dead one. This one looks like it was one that was already fixed a long while back. This one was we fixed some image loading issues in Kent. That's 1748. And then that's all of them that I've touched. Any questions on any of those, or you good?
No, I may have to review the tape later, but let's see, Mike, all of your stuff was Salesforce related, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Then I guess that's it. I could share the campaign troubleshooter report, and I think I'll just send y'all the link instead of making you watch me use it. But anyone have anything else? No. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. I'll probably have questions for some of y'all tomorrow. But all right. See you later.